you're good to go.
Okay, welcome to you folks here. I'm glad you could join the meeting. Let's see here. I'd like to start with a pledge. I have a small flag here, if you can see it, and follow after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. So let's see, the roll call is just chime in so we'll know you're here.
It's Drew Martin.
Okay.
Marty Tarr.
Okay, and Chairman Jim Tyler. Okay. Next, I'd like to adopt the agenda for today's meeting. I have a motion to adopt the agenda.
I move to adopt the agenda.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. The next item is to approve the minutes from the April 25th, 2019 meeting. That's pretty much ancient history, but it needs to be approved.
I move to approve the minutes of April 25th, 2019.
That was April 5th, 2019 was the date?
Yes.
April 25th.
Oh, 25th. Got it.
25th.
Okay. All right. I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, that's approved.
We got them there.
The next item on the agenda is to
Ken doesn't have a camera, okay?
Appoint and approve a committee secretary. I hope Drew can keep on doing that. So I guess we need a motion to. Is that okay, Drew?
Yeah, that's fine. I can keep doing it.
Okay.
I move heartily to approve Drew as our secretary.
I guess I don't think I can move to second, but just say you second.
I guess I second that to put myself in that.
Okay. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Okay, moving right along. The reason for this meeting is to discuss and possibly vote on this median treatments plan that's been submitted by the DelDOT and the Center for Inland Bays. I'd just like provide a little bit of background. Marty may remember some of this, but I think Drew would be kind of new to you. Back in the September 2017, as a result of a phase 2 stormwater planning grant promulgated by the Center for Inland Bays, the report came up with 40 opportunities to address flooding and in the town of Dewey Beach. 3 of these opportunities are addressed in this median plan. Those, and if I can, the identification was starting up at north at the Salisbury Street was known as PC1, working its way south was PC2, and then PC3. So that's what's on the table for today, is to discuss and possibly vote on this. The original opportunities of these PC through 3 were just to create mulch beds in the median areas by removing the flat concrete and then doing, as I said, replacing with a mulch bed. This effort by DelDOT goes a little bit farther in that they're providing some plantings and a rope and post fence along the median, which kind of reflects past discussions on controlling the jaywalkers from one side of the street to the other. And I think all in all, this is a good idea, and frankly, I'm in favor of it. So now I'll throw it out to the other members here to get their inputs.
I have a couple of comments or questions, I guess. Referring to replacing the trees at Rodney and Van Dyke with grasses, and the picture shows posts, but I don't see that addition in the notes. I see it in one of the pictures that you gave us, this one.
Yeah.
But on the other thing that you gave us, like this, there are actually notes up in the corner. But I don't see notes on this one. Maybe that's not important, but I just noticed that because I wondered about the posts. I could see that they were in the drawing, but I couldn't see any notes about it, and wanted to be sure that, if it's necessary, that it's there.
You're right. There aren't any notes. It's
So
pretty,
that was one comment that I had. And it's true, they're going to replace the trees and put grasses and ornamentals.
well, there's a number of trees stay in place. There's if you
But not at Rodney and Van Dyke, they're replacing those trees with the ornamentals.
This plan that I have only goes as far as Reed. It doesn't go south of Reed.
No, but there is this, that's for replacing the trees. Where did I see this? But it also says, no, I didn't just make that up. Where did I get that?
I know those going back to the 40 opportunities, they do extend all the way down to Van Dyke, but this proposal right now is only from Salisbury to Reed.
Correct. What is this other thing then? Well, I read it somewhere, so let me see if I can find where I read that.
Okay.
Jim, this is Dale Cook. Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right, I can barely hear Jim, and I can hear the other two of you somewhat. We're having a little problem here at Town Hall, and I just want to let you know if there's any problem with the grasses or the design of the input of grasses in place of any one particular tree, or the specific placement, it will not hurt us one way or the other. That design can be changed at almost any time before the project starts. The general idea is to see whether the committee is for or against the project in general.
Okay. Well, I would say that, like you said, Dale, this is preliminary, and there may be some massaging to
He doesn't.
fine tune it.
okay, wait, I found it. All right, it's on this plan, up in the notes.
Oh, way up there. Okay.
Okay, and so if you read, it says remove 3 additional trees, one on the north side of Rodney Avenue and 2 at Van Dyke Street. And verify these 3 locations. Remove and replace minimum topsoil furnished with plants and triple shredded mulch. And then that's what I think this was.
That sounds like they're just
Okay.
removing the trees. That's it.
You haven't written
Correct.
anything. They haven't written anything. Nobody's written anything.
No, we've got you've got a copy of the ordinance, right?
But they're removing the trees and that look, I hear ambient noise, so. They're removing those trees at Van Dyke and Rodney, and then they're replacing it with topsoil and plants and triple shredded hardwood mulch. So that was my question. They're going to replace it with those grasses, I guess.
I guess I'd like to read that you're removing the trees and then replacing the topsoil where the trees were located.
It's right up there in the notes at the top.
Yeah. Topsoil, then plants, and that probably needs to be explained a little bit better by DelDOT. Maybe even-
My other question then is, the trees that are being removed, the 7 trees that are being removed. I understand, I can see in, the budget agreement that they're, replacing those. What will happen to those trees? Will they just be discarded or reused somewhere? Trees are hard to move. Once the root system is disturbed, it's hard to do anything with it, but that is my additional question.
I guess that would be another question for DelDOT, but I would, off the top of my head, I would say that you're probably going to see those things chipped up and hauled away.
Now, if they wanted to use them somewhere else immediately, that might be okay. Not necessarily here, but I
Yeah.
certainly don't want them sitting somewhere while they're doing the work and then coming back here and expecting to replant them.
I don't think that'll happen.
Okay. I would hope not.
Okay.
That will fail. I have no yard to take care of here, but I did have yards to take care of in a previous locations, and I know of what I speak from personal experience.
Drew, any comments from you?
Well, my question is, so I didn't see the designs. So the 7 trees, where are those the trees basically that are Reed and North in the median now? They're just trees along there that they're going to remove?
You have to look carefully, see. Let's see it between New Orleans and Bellevue, there's 2 trees to be removed. Then see a bunch of, then at McKinley, north and south of McKinley, there's two more trees to be removed. And then that's 4. And then
So are these
the,
trees, are these trees diseased or what's the rationale behind removing them? Are they replacing them with other trees or?
Could I interrupt for a moment?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Yeah, the trees, some of the trees, most of them that are being removed are trees that are either blocking the signage, the lights for crosswalk, or blocking being able to see people in the crosswalk, meaning in the center island on the crosswalk, people now have to lean out, walk out past the limbs of the trees to
That's
look
true.
to see if
I see.
there's cars coming. That's most of them, and all will be replaced with grass, et cetera, that doesn't grow up that tall.
Gotcha.
The point was that we made a big effort to make sure they saved as many trees as possible and not take out any that weren't absolutely necessary to take out.
Okay.
I see. Yeah, my only other thing, and I made a comment early on that, with this plan that they're working on, I always am a big advocate of trying to figure out a way to make the sidewalks themselves more safe. I
Make
know,
the sidewalks
I know
what?
every 6 months or 8 months, I'll send something over with some idea that probably isn't feasible. But, with the money that they had for this program, I just didn't know if there was something there to enlarge the existing sidewalks, to make them bigger, to make them safer. I mean, in the non-COVID world, as we all know, this Saturday, Friday nights, Sunday, the sidewalks are overflowing into the streets, and it just would be nice.
Yeah,
to make them safer.
unfortunately, this project will not touch the sidewalks at all.
Yeah, I
There will not
understand.
be any money in the pipeline to do that until, as far as I know, until they rehab the entire highway in about 5 or 6 years from now. And then they have a problem because of the boundary, the building boundary is right next to the sidewalk on each side. When they enlarged the highway, they went right up to the building line. So that's going to be a big problem, and they understand that it's going to be a problem in the future.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know if you grabbed, by making the median actually smaller, you grabbed space on both sides for a larger sidewalk. Not that the median's already pretty small, so there isn't a lot of room there. So, but if you could just get a couple feet on both sides or something, it'd make a big difference. But oh well.
It's another reason why we should ask people to wear masks in Dewey when they're outside, because it's impossible to physically distance from somebody on our sidewalks. And I am continually walking into the street to avoid somebody who's coming the other direction without a mask.
You're not alone on that. But anyway, that's the way
I
it
didn't
is.
really have any other. I didn't really have any other questions, and that's just more of a observation than anything else. I kind of knew the answer to it, but I just, it's always something I'm always thinking about when I'm out late at night and I see these people falling into the street or just trying to get around people and walking out into that shoulder. I know what's going to happen eventually.
Oh, got any comment on that, Dale?
Any comment on it? I've already commented. There's not a whole lot that we or the town can do. Unfortunately, it's about the width of the sidewalks and the mask, depending on what the governor requires.
Well, Rehoboth requires masks everywhere in Rehoboth. And that wasn't the governor, except for the beach. When you're anywhere in public in Rehoboth, you're required to wear a mask. But I digress from our topic.
Well, we all digress here.
Well,
Yeah, I would hope that the committee would think about whether they decide they want to pass or not pass the idea of having this project as it is conceived now.
well, I'm for it. I think it's a reasonable project, and if we can get the funding, it would be a big improvement for the town, and also could help to control the jaywalking problem it's been always in existence.
I am also in favor of it. And I imagine that it would also help with absorbing rainwater, which can only help as water flows down toward Reed, that having areas that can absorb that rainwater can only help. it's not going to help from the roadway, but it will, I guess it's everything that's falling. But who knows what's going on underneath the roadway? So, maybe some of that water gets absorbed up into the median. I don't know.
Well, this median plan would absorb quite a bit of water to prevent it from draining out to one side of the state highway or the other, and eventually winding up in the bay. But I'm sure there is a reduction in stormwater runoff to some extent.
That reminds me what you just said. Will the medians be, and I don't know how to express this, but there are parts of the roadway that appear to be kind of gravelly, which I assume is a more absorbent material. Will the medians have that kind of treatment, I wonder?
Are you asking me?
I'm asking anybody who might know what I'm talking about.
Well, you're talking about water is able to soak down through part of on the roadway now. That was put in where we saw that the water was puddling. When I say puddling, I mean massive puddles.
Yeah.
Laking, I'll put it that way. And I'm trying to think of the word for where it absorbs water.
It's porous concrete.
Excuse me?
It's porous or permeable concrete.
Yeah.
Permeable. That's what I just couldn't think of it. I apologize. My Catholic school education didn't do me very well there. Anyway, they've in order to stop that ponding effect, they put in sections that were permeable asphalt and concrete, and it has to be swept off. I don't know how often, but sand tends to block it up somewhat. But when they replace the islands on the major project in the years to come, we've already told them we want permeable material.
Good, because that I have observed that to be effective when I walk, which I do a lot. So that was a question I had, and I'm happy to hear that response.
I saw, where they put when they did all the work at the little store, which turned out nice. The one thing I did see with the little store work was all the plantings and everything they put in there. Unless Kay or somebody at the little store was watering that, a lot of those plantings would have died.
That's
So
correct.
I'm not sure if DelDOT is planning to do plantings further up on the median there, if there'll be access to water. I mean, the grasses can survive without a lot of water and it'll probably be okay. But if they were doing any other plantings or thing, it's not going to live without somebody watering it.
The whole discussion was that they would do indigenous planting as much as possible, and that we would have, we have a contract during the summer with Sposato that already takes care of part of the islands now, the garden area of the islands, the watering and the planting, and we'll include that in the contract.
I see.
I'd like to mention that one of the attachments was what they call the planting palette and materials. And they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, look like perennials and ornament grasses, and then 7, then some shrubs. And so there's 10 items, but they're all considered low maintenance and drought tolerant. So that, I think they've at least tried to address that problem, Drew.
Yeah, I understand. I know what you. It's
Also,
like everything else. It's like anything you plant, even down here on Reed, where I live. Unless it's the grasses, even knockout roses die here. It's hard to keep anything alive down here with the flooding and everything else. So
I think it's all the salt tolerant here in the Reed Hayden Road area because of the tidal flow that we have and the drainage backup, you're right. The salt water is coming and it's under the surface, and everything I plant in front of my location also dies eventually. And I think it's the salt.
Keller factory. But no-
Yeah, it's got to be the salt. Yeah, I
Yeah.
absolutely agree. But I mean, the grasses seem to be the only thing that thrives. So, yeah.
Yeah,
Marty, now you got some ideas on what to plant.
I know. That's a good idea.
Uh, Hey, if there's not any more comment or discussion, I'd like to call the question to approve and recommend to the commissioners this median treatment plan.
I recommend that we accept the plan.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you, folks. Let's see. That would, so Drew, can you write up the draft minutes and we can get them submitted to the town manager and the commissioners to have it ready for their next meeting, which is what, the second Saturday in February, Dale? I guess it's the second Saturday, but anyway, if we do it,
Okay.
if we do it in a
The
prompt
second
manner,
Friday.
we'll cover our
What, Ashley?
tracks.
The
Yeah.
town meeting is the second Friday in February. It's February 12th.
Okay, so let's try to get that in this week if we can, Drew.
Yeah, no problem. No
Okay,
problem. Hey, Ashley,
Yes.
will you be able to set up the same Zoom meeting for me for Wednesday?
For the marketing?
Yes.
Yes. Yep. I'll reach out to you today and get that information over to you.
Okay, great. Thank you.
okay.
No problem.
As far as a follow-up meeting, I've got some ideas rattling around in my head, but I'll have to get back to you on that. It might be maybe a month from now or 6 weeks from now or something like that. But I'll give you plenty of notice.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so have a motion to adjourn the meeting?